Hi, welcome to Decoded Dialogues, where tech talks and stories spark transformation. I'm your host, Crystal Fernandez, and today we're diving deep into the intersection of enterprise systems and artificial intelligence. And joining us is Josh Kamenecka, a visionary in the Oracle ERP and AI space. From his early days in tech to leading innovation with AI Agent Studio, Josh brings a unique perspective on how intelligent systems are transforming the way businesses operate. And today, we'll explore ERP and real-world AI use cases and what the future might hold for enterprise workflows. So let's get into it. So, Josh, tell me a little bit about your background. Thank you so much for joining us today, by the way, and we really appreciate you being here. How did you get into Oracle? How did you get into this space?
Yeah, thanks, Crystal. It's a pleasure to be here and so excited about this series and working with such great partners like Perficient. I've been around this space for 25 plus years. I know it's a little bit hard to tell with my, youthful looks. I started when I was five. No, I'm kidding. But I started way back when I was just a financial analyst at a big company up in upstate New York, a company called Xerox, and I was trying to figure out how to leverage and use technology to make my life in finance a lot easier and a lot simpler. And I fell in love with technology that I brought into Xerox, and I ended up moving over to that software company, which was actually acquired by Oracle back in the mid 2000s. But my journey into Oracle ERP and AI really began with sort of this passion for helping organizations transform how they run their businesses, right? Early in my career, I worked closely with global finance and operations teams who are struggling with siloed systems, manual processes, and limited visibility. And that's sort of what drew me into the world of enterprise applications, because ERP isn't just software. It's really the backbone of how companies operate, grow, and innovate. And when I joined Oracle, again, I joined through one of the many acquisitions, Hyperion acquisition in the mid 2000s. I was deeply involved in helping customers modernize their financial management and planning processes. And over time, I watched ERP evolve from back office systems of record into a strategic platform for really driving business outcomes. And that evolution accelerated with the rise of cloud and more recently with AI. And what excites me most about now is how AI is redefining ERP's role. It's turning it into from a tool that reports on the past into a system that really shapes the future. And we're moving from this reactive workflow to a much more proactive, autonomous process, if you will, forecasting cash before it's even a problem and surfacing anomalies before they become risks, delivering insights at the point of decision. Being part of that shift, being part of that culture, helping customers harness Oracle's unique combination of data, AI, and enterprise expertise has really been one of the most rewarding parts of my journey.
What a remarkable start. So, for people who might not be familiar, how would you describe Oracle ERP in everyday terms?
Yeah, everyday terms, right? It's I like to
Right.
describe Oracle ERP. It's sort of this central nervous system of a business. It's the platform that runs all of the essential financial and operational processes, things like accounting, budgeting, procurement, projects, supply chain, and connects them all into one intelligent system. In everyday terms, if you think about a business as a living organization, right? ERP is what keeps everything coordinated and flowing. It's what ensures money is tracked accurately, spending is controlled, suppliers get paid, projects stay on budget. Leaders have real time visibility into how the business is performing. What makes Oracle ERP stand out is that it goes beyond simply keeping the lights on. It's not just a digital ledger or a back office system. It's a strategic engine that helps companies see what's coming next. And with AI built in and embedded, it can forecast trends before they even happen, automating routine work and surfacing insights that help CFOs and finance organizations and business leaders make better, faster decisions. So, in simple terms, Oracle ERP is the intelligent backbone that helps organizations run their business today and shape where they're going tomorrow.
So, what would you say is the most surprising thing that people maybe don't realize about ERP systems?
Gosh, the most surprising. Well, there are a bunch of
Yeah,
things. The most surprising
sure.
thing I think people don't realize is that it's ERP isn't just about accounting or back office systems anymore. It's become a strategic driver of innovation and competitive advantage. See, for a long time, ERP had this reputation as a necessary but unexciting system, right? Something that you
Sure.
had to have to close
Right.
the books, keep the business running. And what most people don't see is how dramatically that's changed. Today, a modern ERP system like Oracle's isn't just recording what's already happened, it's predicting what's likely to happen next and shaping decisions before they're even made. For example, AI driven ERP can forecast cash flow weeks in advance. It can detect unusual patterns in spending automatically, or even recommend the best supplier based on sustainability and risk data, all without someone having to dig through spreadsheets, build all kinds of crazy reports. It's proactive, not reactive. And perhaps what's maybe most surprising of all is the insights that ERP surfaces don't just help finance teams, they influence product decisions, customer experiences, M&A strategies, and even sustainability initiatives. In other words, ERP has quietly moved from the back office to the center of the boardroom conversation.
That's very, very exciting, actually.
Super
I
exciting,
suspect
super exciting.
yeah, and I suspect it's really helping to streamline jobs at this point. Would you agree to that? That it's really, like, changing the way we
Tremendously.
do business, right?
It's changing the way we do business. It's changing the way that we think about doing business. It's giving people an opportunity to leverage the skills and the capabilities that they have to really advise and guide the business rather than sift through spreadsheets and reports and trying to figure things out. And by the time they figured it out, it's already passed, right? So it's giving them sort of a future forecast in terms of what's happening and what's to come.
Okay, so now that we've got a little bit of an education on ERP, please let's dig into the exciting stuff. So
Yeah.
let's talk about AI Agent Studio. Break it down for us. What are we looking forward to? Can you give us hints on what's coming down, because AI World's coming up, and I know there's going to be some exciting announcements. So you know,
Well, yeah, super, super excited about our Oracle AI World coming up here in a very short period of time. And there's going to be some tremendous announcements. But AI Agent Studio and Innovation is just a fantastic continuation of the innovation that Oracle is providing. AI Agent Studio, it's Oracle's way of putting the power of AI directly in the hands of business users without them needing to be data scientists. Think of it as a workspace where you can design, deploy, and manage intelligent agents that understand business context and act on your behalf instead of Oracle Cloud applications. At its core, the Agent Studio lets you create specialized AI coworkers that handle tasks, make recommendations, and even trigger workflows across finance, across HR, across supply chain and operations. Let me give you a couple examples.
yeah, please.
One example is a cash forecasting agent that can continuously monitor transactions and predict cash flow weeks ahead, helping finance teams, helping organizations look for other potential shortfalls, or are there going to be problems up ahead, and how am I going to manage those? Another example is a project optimization agent that can flag budget risks before they even happen and suggest corrective actions. A procurement agent can automatically vet suppliers and recommend the best option based on price, risk, or sustainability data, just saving companies and businesses massive amounts of time in terms of trying to figure out all this stuff that they need to manage and run the business. What's powerful is that these agents, they aren't just pulling data, they're reasoning over Oracle's unified data model, understanding real business context, and taking action within the system itself. They're secure, they're governed, and they're deeply embedded into your existing workflows. So if ERP is the brain and the nervous system of our business, AI Agent Studio is how you give it reflexes and intuition. It transforms your application from tools you use into intelligent teammates that anticipate, advise, and act, scaling expertise across your organization. And like anything else, it's always human in the loop. So we're always in control. We'll always have the opportunity to review and revise or change whatever recommendations are sent to us.
Can you share like a real world use case of how this is being utilized right now?
Yeah, sure. One of the most powerful examples that we've seen is with a global services company, not at liberty to say their name right now,
That's fine.
that
Yeah.
was struggling, a global services company that was struggling with cash visibility and forecasting. And they had data scattered across dozens of systems. And finance teams, they were spending days, if not weeks, each month manually pulling spreadsheets together just to understand where their cash position might be heading. And by the time they had a report, the reality had already changed. With the help, we helped them, Oracle helped them implement an AI cash forecasting agent through Oracle's AI Agent Studio. And this agent continuously monitors invoices, payments, subscriptions, and even external signals like seasonality, all in real time, and produces dynamic, forward looking cash forecasts. It doesn't just report the numbers, it explains the drivers behind them and even flags potential risks weeks before they appear. The impact was absolutely dramatic. They improved forecasting accuracy by more than 40%. They reduced manual effort by over 30 hours a month. And most importantly, they started making more confident decisions around investments and working capital because they trusted the insights. And that's really the broader story of AI Agent Studio. It's not about automating a single task. It's about turning raw enterprise data into proactive intelligence that shapes business decisions, whether it's optimizing project budgets, automating procurement recommendations, or flagging compliance risks before they even happen. And these agents act like digital teammates embedded inside ERP, constantly working in the background to keep the business one step ahead. Just amazing, amazing stories. And this is one example of many that are to come with all the use cases and the exciting things around our AI Agent Studio.
So what I'm hearing here is the ROI on this is just astronomical and potentially just huge, right?
Yes, the return on this is incredible, and we're right now going through a multitude of cycles to try and capture and gather and quantify what are some of these returns, and some of these are just off the charts. I mean, we have to go and run the numbers a couple of times just to make sure are these the right numbers, are these the right savings, and sure enough, they are.
It doesn't sound like it's just a money return though. It sounds like it's actually the people return. It's giving people back hours that they need to do other things, right?
Absolutely. It's not only just financial, which of course is important, but
Right.
value is a lot of these folks are now able to spend more time, again, advising and guiding the business, spending time doing the things that they were really what they were hired to do, not sift through silos of data and spreadsheets and things of that nature.
Sure. So how do you see AI agents changing the way businesses interact with their ERP systems now and in the
Yeah.
future?
Yeah, great question. AI agents, they are fundamentally changing the relationship between people and their ERP systems from something that you use to something that works alongside you. And traditionally, ERP has been a place you went to get information or execute a process. You'd log in, you'd run reports, you'd enter data, push transactions through. It was powerful, but often very, very reactive. You had to know what you were looking for and where to find it. And AI agents flip that model on its head. Instead of people adapting to the system adapts to them. Agents understand context, they anticipate needs, and they proactively surface insights or actions without someone having to ask. And for an example, rather than a finance leader logging in to check a forecast variance, an agent will alert them that revenue is trending off plan, explaining why and even recommending adjustments, all before the books are even closed. They also make ERP far more conversational and intuitive. You'll see users interacting through natural language, simply asking, what's driving our margin erosion for this quarter? And the agent will not only pull the right data, but interpret it and suggest next steps. It lowers the barrier to value dramatically and extends ERP beyond the back office into every corner of the business. So, Crystal, I see AI agents turning ERP from a system of record into a system of reasoning and action. They'll make enterprise software feel a lot less like software and a much more like a strategic partner, one that's continuously learning, that's advising and acting alongside you. And that shift is going to redefine how businesses run over the next decade and beyond.
So, what do you think is the greatest hurdle for businesses? I personally believe it's change management and a little bit of like trust, right? In the AI and how it works. So what would you say? Do you agree with that or do you have a different idea about that?
Yeah, I think those two things are absolutely critical, and I see change management as being a major blocker for companies that are looking to make the shift from their current system, from their archaic on-premise systems to a cloud SaaS-based solution. And then when you layer in AI, there's a big trust factor. I get it, right? This is a relatively new paradigm, and I think customers are some of them are waiting to see what it's going to look like, how it's going to act, how it's going to react. Others are jumping feet first. Again, from our perspective, right, the human is always in the loop, but there is that trust factor that I think customers are sort of waiting to see. Hey, is this really going to be helpful and advantageous to me and my organization and my business?
So, any aha moments or lessons learned from working on these technologies?
Yeah, a couple. One of the biggest aha moments, at least for me, was realizing that the real power of AI in ERP isn't just in the technology itself. It's in how it changes the people work and make decisions. When we first started embedding AI into ERP, many customers thought of it sort of as a nice to have, right? There's a nice add-on, something that could, automate a few tasks or make a few reports prettier. But what we saw in practice was far more transformative. Once AI agents started surfacing insights proactively, people stopped spending their time chasing data and started spending it interpreting, deciding, and acting. And that shift from reporting the past to shaping the future, that was the moment that it clicked. Another lesson that I think we learned is that we just talked about trust, right? Trust and explainability are just as important as intelligence. An AI forecast is only valuable if a CFO understands why it's predicting a certain outcome. That's why Oracle's approach emphasizes not just automation, but transparency. Every recommendation comes with context, with reasoning, and the ability to drill into the why. That builds trust, which accelerates adoption and really drives real change. And maybe the most important takeaway is that this isn't about replacing people. It's about elevating them. The best results happen when AI agents take on a repetitive, time consuming work and humans focus on creativity, strategy, and judgment. That's where the technology really shines, not as a tool, but as a partner.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. So how do you balance innovation with the need for stability in the enterprise systems?
Yeah, great question. It's a constant challenge and it's a constant one that's moving. I think balancing innovation with stability is one of the most important and also misunderstood parts of building enterprise systems. See, companies run their most mission critical processes on ERP. So reliability isn't an option. It's the baseline. It's table stakes. But at the same time, if those systems don't evolve, they become anchors that hold the business back. The key is to really treat innovation and stability not as opposites, but really more as partners. At Oracle, we build innovation into the foundation rather than bolting it on top. And this means using a secure, unified data model across all applications, designing AI agents that work natively within business workflows, and delivering new capabilities through continuous safe updates. So customers get new intelligence without disrupting existing operations. Another lesson that we've learned is that innovation doesn't have to mean risk. For example, with AI Agent Studio, customers can experiment with intelligent agents in targeted areas like cash forecasting or project optimization, while the underlying ERP platform continues to provide that same rock solid reliability. It's an incremental, low risk path to transformation that builds confidence over time. And at the end of the day, our philosophy is simple. Innovation should feel seamless. It shouldn't feel stressful. The most successful transformations, they happen when organizations trust that their systems are stable enough to run in today's business and the intelligence enough to evolve with tomorrow's. So it's a balance between innovation and stability in terms of, how do I find that? How do I strike that balance?
Those are some really great insights. We've been talking about all the new things, right? But what's something that you're seeing in the ERP space, and it could be around the AI agent studio or just something happening within ERP that is excites you the most right now? Like what is like the thing that's got you going like this is amazing, like this one piece of it or something bigger?
Oh my gosh, how much time do we have? There are so many things that are so exciting and it's happening so quick. Honestly, Crystal, I think there's never been a more exciting time at Oracle and certainly from an ERP perspective than right now because the system is transforming that back office ledger into that strategic intelligence layer of the enterprise. And a few trends stand out for me top of mind, right? One is AI agents and this autonomous process, if you will. The most game changing shift is the rise of intelligent agents that don't just automate tasks, but reason, recommend, and act on behalf of users. And this moves ERP from reactive to proactive, really surfacing insights before problems occur and executing workflows without human intervention. And that's a fundamental shift in how businesses operate. Another trend that I'm seeing is finance as a strategic command center. And what I mean by that is we're seeing CFOs use ERP data not just for reporting, but for shaping business direction. See, modern ERP platforms are becoming the foundation for scenario modeling, for predictive planning, and real time decision making across the enterprise. Blurring those lines between finance, operations, and strategy, it's a key trend that I'm seeing. Two more here for you. Composability and extensibility. And what do I mean by that? Another exciting trend is how ERP is becoming more modular and adaptive. With AI Agent Studio and low code tools, organizations, they can extend capabilities quickly, build new agents tailored to their industry, and innovate without heavy customization, all while staying on a secure, unified platform. And the last trend I'll put out there is really a connected ecosystem and data intelligence. And what I mean by that is finally, finally, ERP is no longer an island. It's connected deeply with supply chain, with customer experience, with human resources and external data sources to deliver a true 360-degree view of the business. That interconnected intelligence, it's unlocking opportunities that we couldn't even touch before. We couldn't even fathom before. And all this points to the future where ERP isn't just that system that runs your business, it's the system that thinks with you and evolves with you. That's the shift that excites me the most.
I think you're right. I think that is pretty exciting because I know for years we've seen all of these disparate systems trying to talk to each other and trying to work together. So when you finally get to a point where you can pull it all into one space, that is super exciting, right? Because then everything is actually working the way it should be. All right. Do you think AI agents will eventually become standard in all enterprise workflows? Like, is that the plan, or do you think that's the future?
Yeah, I think that's definitely future. I mean, I'm convinced that AI agents, they're definitely going to become the standard in virtually every enterprise workflow, and not in the distant future either. We're already seeing the early stages of that shift now. And just like the cloud became the default way we deliver enterprise software, I think AI agents are quickly becoming the default way that we interact with it. Once organizations experience the value, agents proactively surfacing insights, triggering workflows, they're answering questions in natural language and even reasoning through complex scenarios. It's hard to imagine going back to the old manual way of working. And the reason I believe this is inevitable is because, see, AI agents solve three universal challenges that every business faces, right? Complexity, capacity, and context. They simplify complex processes and extend human capacity by handling repetitive work. And they operate with a very deep business context because they're built right into the fabric of our technology, into the fabric of ERP. That combination is way too powerful to remain optional. I also think we'll stop talking about them as AI agents altogether. They'll just be the way the system works, much like we no longer say cloud email or mobile banking. AI driven workflows will simply be how business gets done. And that's a future I'm incredibly excited about because it means enterprise software will finally feel much more like a strategic partner rather than just a tool.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, if you had a crystal ball, what would Oracle ERP look like 5 years from now?
Oh my gosh. Well, if I had a crystal ball, I'm not sure I'd be sitting on this call with you right now, Crystal.
I mean, probably not.
But if I had a crystal ball, what would
Sure.
ERP look like 5 years from now?
Yeah.
Gosh, 5 years from now, I think Oracle ERP will feel less like software and more like a strategic partner. I think it'll anticipate what you need before you even ask. It'll continue to automate complex decisions from end to end. It'll deliver insights in real time, in plain language. AI agents, they're going to be everywhere, embedded across finance, embedded across supply chain, embedded across HR and customer experience and beyond, quietly orchestrating workflows and flagging risks and suggesting actions. I think CFOs won't be logging in to run reports. They'll be asking questions and getting strategic answers with context and recommendations. I think close cycles will happen continuously and forecasts will self adjust and new business models will spin up without a single line of code. ERP will no longer be a system of record. It's going to be a system of intelligence and action that evolves with your business and helps shape the future. And Oracle will be at the center of that shift, redefining what enterprise software can do. So that's what I see in my crystal ball. Super, super exciting.
Okay, so let me ask you a two-part question. For organizations who are looking to move into the Oracle ERP space, and the second part for organizations that are already sitting within the Oracle ERP space, what advice would you give them right now to move into AI? What do they need to do? What are the things they need to think about? Just a couple main topics that they should like really consider.
Yeah, great question. I think the journey to an AI-driven autonomous enterprise it's not just a technology project. I think it's a business transformation, right? I think these organizations, they're seeing the biggest impact from Oracle Fusion Cloud ERP and AI Agent Studio, that they share a common set of strategies. So there are a couple of things that I would give advice. One, I would say start with a strong foundation, right? Data, processes, and governance. See, AI is only as powerful as the data and the processes that it relies on. So clean and standardize your core data before you deploy an AI agent. Financial, operational, and project data, it's got to be trusted and consistent and timely, right? We say garbage in, garbage out. Um, I think a second thing is really focusing on high impact, real world use cases first. Don't try to boil the ocean. Start where automation delivers immediate and measurable value. Target repetitive, high volume tasks like maybe expense approvals or account reconciliations or even forecasting updates. A third area that I think is important for people to consider is empowering people. Don't replace them. AI and autonomous agents, they amplify human potential. They don't eliminate it. So involve finance, involve operations and business users in designing agents and workflows. They know where the pain points are best and position those agents as collaborators that take on low value tasks so people can focus on strategic work. I've got one or two more for you that just come top of mind.
Sure. Yeah.
One is building for a continuous innovation, not a one-time deployment, right? So modern ERP and AI capabilities, they evolve rapidly. And your approach should too, right? So choose platforms that deliver quarterly innovation without disruption, like Oracle Fusion Cloud ERP. Continuously innovate and iterate, expand of those use of AI agents and treat them as living agents that improve over time. They continue to evolve. Last one I'll call out here is make it a cross-functional leadership-led effort. And what I mean by that is ERP and AI transformation touches every part of the organization, Crystal. It cannot live in a silo. So bring together finance, bring together operations, bring IT and data teams together from the start. Ensure you've got executive sponsorship, leadership that's got vision and alignment that are critical to breaking through resistance and scaling adoption, and celebrate those wins and share success stories widely to sustain momentum and really drive a culture of innovation. So to summarize, right, adopt ERP and AI with a strategic sort of phased and people-centric approach. Build a strong foundation. Start with a clear use case, right? And empower your workforce and treat innovation as continuous and done right. These technologies don't just modernize operations. They redefine how your organization thinks, decides, and grows.
That is great advice, Josh. Thank you so much. This is great information. I'm super excited about what the future holds. So we're going to see you at AI World in a few weeks, correct?
That's correct.
Where
Cannot
where
wait.
could where could people find you if they wanted to connect with you at AI World?
Gosh, I'll be all over the place. Personally, I have what I call FOMO. I have a major fear of missing out, so I will be all over the place. I will be at many of the keynote addresses that we're going to
Perfect.
see with just some fantastic customers talking about their stories. I will be by the demo hubs. We've got a bunch of guided workshops and AI adventures where customers get an opportunity to get their hands on the keyboard and see how real these technologies are. So I will be all over the place. I will be at some of the events that many of our partners like Perficient are hosting. I will certainly be at the Def Leppard concert. I don't know
Of
if I'll
course.
be on stage, but maybe close to stage. But excited about the entire event and really looking forward to seeing you, Crystal, there, as well as all of our customers and all of our folks.
Fantastic. And if they wanted to get a hold of you any other time away from AI World, are we good to let them have your contact information to look you up? Is that okay? Okay.
100%.
Would you
Send
say
me an
LinkedIn's a
email.
good place or send you an email or both?
LinkedIn, send me an email, send me a text, shoot me a smoke signal, whatever it is. I'd love to say I follow the sun and 24/7. I may answer your call or text at 1 o'clock in the morning, but find me anyway and I will return the call or text or LinkedIn request.
Well, again, Josh, thank you so much for joining us today. We've really appreciated it. I think this is some amazing information, and I'm really looking forward to the future of Oracle ERP and AI Agent Studio. Very exciting.
Awesome. Me too. Thank you
So,
for having me on.
yeah, thank you so much. All right, so that's a wrap on this episode of Decoded Dialogues. Huge thanks to Josh for sharing his insight stories and a glimpse into the future of ERP and AI. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your network. You can find more episodes and resources at your preferred podcast site. And until next time, keep decoding the dialogue and stay curious. Thanks.